I had the opportunity to travel to Dallas, Texas, and participate in a 25K event. The PPG host was pretty good. We had a good time, met a lot of friendly faces, and participated in a 5K the day after. I was anticipating a very top-heavy field with like a ton of Master Yi and Diana, and that was reflected in the deck list that I decided to bring. And then it turns out it was not that event. I made a medical. It did not work out for me. But the second day we did end up on the stream. So this is a deck list review, just relatively quick, and then we'll get into the VOD review of my streamed match against Khai on Diana. Let's go ahead and look at what we brought. So the start of it's pretty stock compared to a lot of things people have seen from me before. I think that Arena's Greatest going second against Master Yi is actually really good. Makes a lot of sense because of how much better our late game is compared to them. So it's kind of a throwaway, but also if we manage to steal tempo back, we can just win really quickly. Candlelit gave a lot of value to my opponents over the weekend, and I think I'm likely going to shift to something different for CCS. Assuming I bring KaiSa to CCS, I'm still a little bit undecided, but very likely that we're going to be looking to make some adjustments for that event. Then there's a lot of stock things in here. I decided to go with Singularity in this slot. This changed from a lot of things over the course of the weeks leading up to the event. The idea here is it's decent into Yi and very good into Diana, and I was just expecting to see a lot of that, and I didn't play a single Diana over the course of the entire weekend up until the stream match on the 5K, which is the games that we'll be watching. I thought that it made sense to shift to 3 forecasters to see more forerunners, because we have additional consistency pieces, especially since these see each other. Like the forecasters give you double vision that resolves sequentially. So you can play one vision, play another, and then get 2 more instances of vision. You have a greater chance of seeing the cards that are important in the matchup. At least that was the idea. I was back and forth between Watchful Sentry and Poro, what we cut for it. But again, this is very, very stock. Darius, Forerunner, Watcher, Singularity, Time Warp. Felt a little too top heavy, and I did end up bricking, I think, 1 or 2 games because of having a little bit too much top end for how I was playing. So there is some changes we made. The progress stays are here largely for Pike. They're here for Ezreal. I think you can't have less than 2 in the deck specifically for those matchups. If you have none of those in your area, I suppose you really don't have to care. The Thermal Beam and Turn to Dust package is here because Turn to Dust is better into the matchups where you need it and good into the matchups where you want Thermal Beam. Thermal Beam I specifically want against the Azir matchup, and it's very good into Lucian. So it is obviously good into Ornn as well, but Ornn is not really a as wide of a deck as it used to be. It's also very good into Server. So I think this makes a ton of sense because you sometimes just want Turn to Dust in the matchups like Irelia, where you don't need the heavy tempo cost that Thermal Beam requires. Chargum Nets are overperformed on the weekend. It is a defensive combat trick that you can use to respond to gusts. You can use to get a very difficult to calculate combat trick swing for your opponent. If you hold up 3, a lot of people are assuming it's Voidseeker, and then you throw Chakram Dancer into the mix, and then it's like 3 for 5, not 3 for 4. And then Smite was largely there for LeBlanc and other Forerunner decks. I thought Darius underperformed a little bit, and it was just like one of the cuts I made. And we can actually move over to the 5K list, which is the list we'll be looking at over the course of the VOD. So the changes that I made, instead of 3 Plundering Pearls, I made 3 Watchful Sentries. This card, I think, is better as a turn 1 play because I'm unafraid to get rid of it and just sack it and draw. There's a lot of opportunities where it's like high risk, high reward to push in your turn 1 play, and then I feel less stressed if I do it with Watchful Sentry. Also, the card draw is super relevant. The fact that it cantrips is highly, highly relevant, so I don't think I would swap below 3 of this guy in this deck. The Bellows were incredible on the day prior. I hit Watcher Bellows combos frequently. It is very good into Ahri, Rengar, a lot of the decks that have the 1 might units that they play. Bellows is absolutely phenomenal. It's also really good on the Void Gate game. So I wanted to play Bellows in the main, and then any matchup it was bad against, like Irelia or Master Yi or any deck that I didn't feel like it was relevant, I would side it out for anything else. I dropped one cleave. I didn't feel like I needed both, but also I replaced one combat trick with another in the form of Chakram Dancer, largely because like ratios are still relatively fine, and because of how well it performed the day prior. I won a lot of games because of this card, so I put one on the side, and then I added a Sprite Fountain because of the significant synergy with Chakram Dancer. I removed one Darius, the Singularity, and the Cleave, and I added a Chakram Dancer, a Void Seeker, and a Rocket Barrage. Two of my losses the day before were both into LeBlanc, which is a little unfortunate. If you lose the first game into LeBlanc, it's kind of doomed because of Hillock. And one of my matchups, I actually had game 1 3 Foreigners in hand and on the second turn. There's not a whole lot you can do if you have significantly bad variants, because this deck is only favored into LeBlanc if you can prevent them from scoring. Like if you can heavy remove and keep them off of battlefields perpetually and then look for warp for win con, like this deck is totally fine in the matchup. But if you see too many Forerunners, it's kind of bad, which is one reason I was still on Candlelit. So I had the opportunity to use Vision from Forecaster and Candlelit triggers to prevent myself from having to play too many of these. I did end up playing only one because there is some windows where it makes sense. That was a little unfortunate. Rocket Barrage is good into so many decks. It's good into Yi, good into Diana, good into any gear decks that we want some kind of answer for. And then it kills Hui in base, kills Diana in base, Master Yi in base. Like there's so many reasons where Rocket Barrage fits as a one of. I never want to see multiple. I did repeat this once over the weekend. I killed two pack of Wonders, I believe, when I repeated it, and my opponent said that's rude. It was kind of fun. Void Seeker was a good addition. You can have more one-ofs in the deck when you have more vision triggers because you can filter more and then be a little bit more toolboxy. Cutting out one Darius made a lot of sense. I did find him and use him where he was relevant. I don't think we can cut below this package down here, so like it was the most obvious thing to cut down on if I want to be a little bit lower to the ground. And Sprite Fountain was so funny. There's some matchups where this is one of the best cards in the deck, and there's some matchups where it's completely useless. So I don't think it's main deckable. The whole Sprite Fountain and Detonate thing is kind of okay. It's fun. It's Nexus Knightable, but I don't think it's good enough for competitive scenes like RQs or showdowns. All right, that's a brief synopsis of the list and how it got there. But let's go to the game. I'm on KaiSa, of course. Right after my first loss, I was 3-0 lead going into round 4, and then as soon as I lost, very disappointingly, my one of the casters for the event came up to me and mentioned that they wanted me on stream, and I said I just lost, and they were like, "We haven't seen a KaiSa all weekend, so we want to feature you anyway." I'm like, "Okay, I'm down. Let's do this." And then I was like, I had to wait for 20 minutes. And this feeling of, man, I'm going to be on stream. Let's see how good of the matchup is. And then I found out it was Diana, and I was pretty excited because this matchup was very favored for us. There's a lot of things to talk about in the matchup too, so it's going to be good for content, obviously. Let's go ahead and go through. And we're just going to do a full VOD review. So strap in. This is going to be one cut. I'm not gonna stop this. I might stop to talk about certain game states or thought processes, but I haven't watched this back. I have not watched this back, so I don't know. I know the end result, but I don't have the entirety of the thing memorized, and I don't know what the caster is going to play. I'm going to listen to them in case there's anything relevant that I want to mention. But we have double Plundering Poro, Forecaster, Rocket Barrage. Rocket Barrage is excellent for going first. It's much better going first than going second, because if they develop Diana, I love seeing this because we just shoot it. We shoot it, and then there's like a lot of nuance on how to handle the turn 2, but it's super good. I don't think I ever want 2 Plundering Poros. This is a bit heavy. So I would either, I'm guessing I'm going to toss back Forecaster, Plundering Poro, and then use this for the gold. But I could see a world where I toss back these two, depending on what I'm thinking. Yeah, okay, we kept one Poro and the removal. If he does play Diana, this thing is awesome to kill it. Alternatively, if he plays Hui at some point and I have Rocket Barrage Stupefied, that obviously kills it. And our main game plan, don't let them draw off of Diana and kill Hui on sight. The longer that those units exist in the game, the less likely we are to win the thing. We have a very unit removal hand, just no Falling Star. I would much rather have Falling Star specifically for killing Khai. But this Diana, well, Diana in general, wants to take a turn to develop, double conquer, hold while double conquer while keeping interaction open, like as many runes as possible, and then hold through the turn, pull back, develop more, and push again. And I wanna remove all their stuff and get on point tempo, make it difficult for them to play. Tide Turner is an unfortunate turn one. They'd much rather see either of the other two. Student is a much better turn to play, and then Traveling Merchant's also good dependent on their hand. But you can travel into Merchant and then into Diana and still fine. I'm telegraphing Hextech Ray. It's unlikely for the good. There's no reality that a good Diana player walks here. It's most likely just develop pass, unless his hand is really low quality and he needs to trade this with a Hextech Ray to get some interaction out of my hand. Okay, interesting. Stack deck. Okay, so there's probably hands that make you do this, but this is, I think, relatively low variance, especially if I have Hextech Ray. I think there's a 48% chance I have Ray in hand. So he probably has this tells me he probably has a very heavy, a unit heavy hand. But if I walk in Stupefy, I don't know if that works because of Abandoned Hall's weird. Hand quality matters a lot. What is it in his hand? Well, that's a Stupefy, clearly. That's Star-Crossed. Moonfall. I can't tell what that is. That looks like Hui. Yep, so Hui, Stup, Moonfall, something in Star-Crossed. He's overexposing to Falling Star. So this he could be thinking I want to bait out Falling Star, make him, if he rips Falling Star from my hand, then he can develop Hui without me having an answer for it. I would love Falling Star right now. That's bold. I'm guessing I'm gonna go here. It's very difficult for me to contest this. Unless I double bell Stupefy is kind of funny here. He only has one rune. So if I do anything, so hold on, we could move Voidseeker because he can't hard bargain, so we can move Voidseeker, and that buffs Poro, and then if he has Stupefy, we respond with Stupefy. I have a very spell heavy hand, so I'm like, let's have some fun. It would probably be better for me to Voidseeker out of combat to prevent him from getting the card draw. But it's a guarantee. If he uses the thing to get the card draw, then he has no interaction, and I just take the point, kill both of his units. So yep, we'll deny the card draw, and I have Stupefy in hand. This is me trading one card, which cantrips for 2, because he's not drawing off of this. I think that's fine. I think this is probably ideal. I think I would do this sequence again. Move in, Stupefy. Oh, this is kind of bad, because if he gusts me, that feels really bad. Alright, so his will resolve, mine will resolve. It's a wash. I have one open, and I think I have Bellows, so probably will use Bellows here to buff my unit. And then he'll have the opportunity to develop Hui on his turn. I think the only option, I kind of have to point gold, keeping a unit alive, because this is 2 energy that I'd be keeping on the board, a unit keeping on the board. Most likely he's going to develop and pass, so this is worth essentially 2 units, or 2 points, and I'm getting a gold, so I think I'm obligated to Bellows here, even though I'm losing a rune for it. Yeah, I think this is fine. If he had Gus, I'm kind of not liking it, but I wonder if he would have already used. I think if he had Gust, he would have gusted his Diana to hand. Maybe what I was thinking at the time. Because he Gust Diana to hand, buff the Tide Turner. I think that's really good for Diana, so I think he very clearly doesn't have it if that's the case. So, yep, develop pass. Gus Poro, okay. I don't like that, but it does slow me down a little bit. If I pull back with Poro, develop KaiSa pass, is that better for me? Yeah, I'll be at 2. Yeah, maybe that Gust is fine. Barrage, yep. Using the gold for deflect. Yep. Always do this, redevelop Poro. Do I have another 2-drop in it? Yeah, this is fine. Inconveniently, I don't know if I have... So I don't have my hand. I want to know what's in my hand right now, because if I don't have a method for... Wow, he didn't develop Hui. Okay, so surely he's just heavily respecting... He has to be heavily respecting Falling Star right now because he hasn't seen one. And he's seen Rocket Barrage and Void Seeker, so he knows that I have, like, a ton of removal in my hand. Or in my deck. But if I'm on 8 right now... Do I sack the... Am I sacking this Poro? I think it's probably better to play Forerunner, hold up 2 for interaction. Because if I move Poro... That's probably fine. Poro to, yeah, Poro to Void Gate, get a gold, go to 2, develop Forerunner. And then hold up 2 for interaction. Forecaster, Vision. Okay, maybe I'm just looking for Falling Star, but I'm essentially sacking this Poro, and then I'm forcing him to move Student to Void Gate, which I can't imagine he'd be super happy about. No, this is fine. This is totally fine, because like him getting over 8 without losing anything, I think is very difficult. And then he, like, say he Hui Ride the Winds to double conquer here, he would also need to burn Stupefy to do it. Yeah, I don't think Hui Ride the Wind works on this battlefield, even though I'm tapped out, largely because of the counterattack. Because he will hate to push in with units and not have as much runes open for interaction as possible. Wow, he walks. Starcrest? No, that wouldn't make sense. 3 and 1, yeah. Moonfall. Okay, so that is a 3, and everything else is total 4. So I'm not playing on Moonfall. Still fine. I have a 4 and 2 zeros. What does he do now? Stupefy? Smoke? Okay, so he full wipes. Develops Vex. Hangs Student, more or less. I have a good chance of going to 4 on this turn. He has to have something on. So he might be looking to... Wow, he doesn't have Gust. How many cards does he have? That's the biggest reason I walk, probably. I think he's got, what, 2 cards in hand? Very low resources for Diana. Does not want to see it. I go to 4. I have 9 runes to develop stuff. I don't even care if these mechs die, to be honest. Depending on if I have units in hand to develop, I probably won't care if these die. Is that a Hex Tech Ray? Is that an Noxus Hopeful? 5. So Darius? Yep. Develop Darius. I dare you to Moonfall him in, and then I get to use 2 spells, I guess. Push to develop. Yeah. I feel so my deck really wants to continue developing efficiently throughout each turn. No way. He would hate Hui and pass here. I would go to 6. Pull back units, develop further. The game is just kind of doomed. Because you can see my hair in his POV. Or his webcam. I'm calculating runes, looking to see how I get to lethal here because he put down Hui. There's no shot he plays Hui and then moves. Granted, he has like no cards in hand, so maybe he's like, there's no reality I don't. If he has Ride the Wind, this could make some sense. And now I'm thinking, how much deflect can I pay and still accomplish my goal for the next turn? So, smoke is fine. Using the red rune for the deflect cost and the legend ability for the blue power. Smoke's down to 1, Met goes up to 4. If he gusts now, and I don't have reaction speed, then that kind of is a little unfortunate. Yeah, his low resources make this matchup seem even more uncomfortable for him than he'd want. He has Hard Bargain in hand. He could just Hard Bargain my smoke screen and then buff X. It appears he's let it resolve. I mean, at this point, you're past the window of being able to Hard Bargain in a competitive match. But I don't know why he wouldn't Hard Bargain. Or I bet he's thinking about Time Warp, because I'm going to 10 on the next turn. And if I push and warp, I just win on the what? He's putting an Accelerate unit back in my hand for his Vex. That feels really bad. This game is very, very leaning towards me. The early removal did very well, and his he's not been able to activate Hui yet, and I still don't have a Falling Star in my hand, which is a little unfortunate for me. Right now at 10 runes, I'm thinking, okay, pull mechs back, develop as much as I can, prep for lethal. Because I clearly don't have warp in hand. If I had it, I would have already played it. I place Forerunner on the battlefield specifically because if Hui goes to Void Gate, it did like more damage is nice, obviously for spell removal, but then also he has to pitch a unit, which means he has less things to develop, and he won't be able to pitch a spell to continue digging for something relevant. So I think this is fine, and I have exactly the same might on offense the next turn, and I want to push for lethal with Darius plus whatever. I don't see a reality he has any cards in his deck, or like in his colors that he could have, that are relevant. Goes to Abandoned Hall. Draws Gust. Gust does kill spell on mech. But he's trying to dig for something else. Maybe looking for Starcrossed. Yep. Do I hold the 7? Alright, so now I'm thinking I need to push something into... I probably push all of this into the hull. Use interaction. Only one piece of interaction. Whatever I do, kill Vex, and then use Darius push. If I have warp, I can't rip it because he definitely could have bargain. I see Ray, Darius. That's time warp. I can't use it because of the threat of hard bargain. So if I have two options. I could, well, I have one option. I have to move this here. I need to get him down below 2 runes so that I can time warp. Because of my hand, I'm inclined to push everything here. Hextech Ray, and then Darius and KaiSa accelerate, and then I don't know how you get over that at that point. I'm just calculating different things that he could have. Six. Yeah, I'm just counting numbers. I should send all of this. I don't need to. Yeah, push it. What am I doing? I have enough to kill Vex. There's no reason not to. I mean, this is fine too. If I push and pass, it's fine. Oh, yeah, I threatened to clear the whole thing. Alright, so I'm hitting Hui, I guess. Okay, so this threatens the game, so I'm forcing him to do stuff. Because this is total of 10. The 7 here plus 3, so this clears the board, or clears the field. I'm forcing him to do something or concede. So that's what this play is. If he does some stuff, well, hi. Oh, yeah, he conceded. Okay. All right, this is awkward. Man, they're just staring at me for minutes. Yeah, so we had a good time. You can see us interacting. We chatted a ton and had a great time with it. He's shuffling my deck. Shuffling my runes. Standard stuff. Making a lot of jokes about, like, you won the dice, but you want to go second, right? Yeah, going first in an unfavored matchup stack deck, especially with these battlefields, is very unfortunate. You definitely hate to see it if you're a Diana player. Yeah, we're making fun of the turn 1 stack deck for sure. Oh, we didn't actually look at my mulligans. Let's see what that was. Yeah, that's Time Warp. I see Chakram Dancer in hand. Oh, I don't need to drop that. I have Poro. Oh, I'm looking for more removal. I need to find Starcross, so that's the reason to get rid of Chakram Dancer, Time Warp. We keep Void Seeker. Okay, that's fine. Hand is playable. But I would love to see more base removal for Diana and for Hui. So my reaction, yeah. Yeah, so stack deck is very unfortunate. Yeah, so because he doesn't play anything here, I want to Yordle for the runes. Or I want to Yordle, play on curve, get the draw as soon as I can so I can think about my next turn a bit more. I don't have to bluff Hextech Ray if I had it, which I don't know if Khai would have walked regardless, but because he doesn't have a unit, I don't have to either hold up rune for Hextech Ray or bluff it. So that's one reason I'm inclined to play Yordle here. If I had a very heavy power hand, or I was concerned that I needed it, then I would have potentially considered using Poro. But Yordle is totally fine here. And if he wants to use Gust, I would much rather him Gust Yordle. Then I get an extra draw. So in this matchup especially, I think it's better to use Yordle earlier. So I could develop and pass, because that's what he's going to do as well. Okay, so I go Candle it. Want to see information. I don't need the runes on Targons. I'm probably only going to develop Poro, I guess. Develop Poro, hold up Void Seeker, which I suppose you could do specifically to force him to get rid of Hard Bargain. If you're thinking about really important cards in this matchup, Hard Bargain is highly relevant against specific cards, especially Time Warp. And if I can get him to use it early, that means he doesn't have it for something else. You can't play Hard Bargain recursively. So I'm totally fine holding at 3 here, telegraphing Voidseeker or Hextech Ray, and then he has to decide if he's going to risk his Diana coming into me or going to Targons. So he's a little bit too concerned about the possibility of an interaction and not being able to either develop or have enough interaction for the following turn. Is this deck backwards? Oh, I guess so. Yeah, that's uncommon. I don't recommend doing that. It's possible to get accused of cheating if you can see the tips of your cards, which is one reason if you look at mine, this is the top of my deck. I can't actually see them at this perspective. I like my deck being horizontal, but for like the just maximum space for being able to fan out the trash and see what's been played throughout the match. But this makes it so I can't be accused of being able to see it. Specifically because it's turned away in a perspective that I can't see. So he has a hard bargain. You always use it here. You have to keep Diana alive. That's fine. There's an argument against doing this. Use it on my turn where he doesn't have enough runes to hard bargain, but also he's on a push turn. So taxing his rune base as much as possible is ideal. If my hand is a bunch of units, then I'm like, okay, I can't get rid of Void Seeker because my next turn is going to be hold the 2, back up, develop even more stuff. Fizz into stack deck? I don't know what is in his hand. I haven't been paying attention to hands yet. Stack deck at the bottom is the only thing I saw there. Maybe he found... So specifically, if somebody does that quickly, you know they found what they were looking for, usually. This is a Diana on a battlefield with 1 rune open. This is a horrible position if I have Falling Star, but I don't. I have Hextech Ray, which I might use out of combat just to prevent the card draw, and then Conquer with the Poro for fun. Develop and then ready to. Do I need to? Probably not. I should be at 2 points. Yep. Ray out of combat. Make it so you can't get any card draws. That's probably the only way I take it off of the battlefield this turn anyway. I have 6. Conquer to 3, get a gold. Drop Forerunner, pull Yordle back. This is sacking Poro, but it's probably fine. I could develop KaiSa, hold up 2 interaction. 2 for interaction. 4 for interaction, actually. Tap 2 for KaiSa. Forecaster. I see. I always pulled back Yordle here. Diana really wants to develop on the next turn. Build up base, pass. I'm in a good position. Being very rune efficient right now. Focused on getting as much on the board as possible. You gotta be really careful doing this. I'm very greedy with how rune efficient I try to be. But it's very face up what I'm doing. Do I want to deramp to play interaction? Probably not. 7. Okay. I don't want to Bellows here. Bellows here does not sound particularly good. Oh, he forgot to recycle from the Fizz stack deck. I let it go. This is okay. Hui. He's very consistently conquering and developing on the same turn. Granted, he gets to ready too, so he's not hurting. I think this is always Tide Turner because he has Sway in a position to swamp. What is this turn? Did I miss a point? I should be at 3. Oh yeah, it's not updated. That's fine. I think it's 3 to 2? We push here with KaiSa first so we can... One, we want to maximize information. And then Candle it into KaiSa trigger is super good. Seeing the top 2, choosing when to draw. Deciding if you want to draw further. Alright, it's correct now. We went to 4. Really looking for Star. That was probably 2 units, like 2 2-drops. Really hoping to find Falling Star, because if I do, and I can just double Falling Star Hui, and then if he decides to Tide Turner, I can still push and kill him. Oh, this is going to be some weird stuff because of how bad my hand is. I see Watcher, Ray. Hard to tell what the middle set of cards are. Watchful Sentry. This is weird. So if he discards unit, then Hextech trades. Like I'm telling him to make me draw a card, and then I have enough for the answer. Do I ever put Yordle here? Probably not. Unless I have Smoke. Because Hard Bargain doesn't stop Smoke. Yeah, this is a what the hell is in my hand type moment. Show me. Come on, me. What was in my hand? Wait, draw, discard a unit. Pretty much always. Set down the Hextech Ray, offer a trade, which loses to Stupefy. This is not a particularly good sequence for me. Okay, we'd have Smoke. We'd have Smoke. No, we did it backwards. No, we'd need Stupefy for that to be relevant. Yeah, so I'm just taxing him. I'm on point parity. Ride the Wind. Oh, this is bad for me. He pulls back and then pushes in again, discards another unit, +3. Then we Hextech Ray offer to trade, I bet. Ooh, which loses to Stupefy, which he has. He should be at 7, not 8. He has a second move trigger, though. Yeah, this is an incorrect number. Oh yeah, he's showing 7 might. He's showing total might with the die, and I'm presenting 3 damage. Oh, this might be when he pulls out his dice. Yep, 7 with 3 damage. Interesting. So even if I don't have anything in my hand here, I ponder. I present information to try to make my opponent think that I have something that I don't have. I might also like spend a moment to start calculating the next couple phases of my game plan, but that play, that specific play that did not go well for me, if I had Falling Star, the game just ends and it kills away before any of this happens. But because this played out the way that it did, I'm definitely on the back foot now. He has Sway on the battlefield with Fizz and a Tide Turner. This is a really happy position for him to be in, assuming that this is Tide Turner. Trying to think if there's any world. If these are here, we still lose this. So it's, in hindsight, this is fine to be back here. I don't know if it would have been good for it to be on the field. Water Accelerated. I think, was Bellows my other card? Oh, this might be the play where I have Chakram Dance or Bellows in hand. So this might be an opportunity that I missed. Well, I decided against going for a risky line that could have flipped the game back, which I probably should have. Because of the current board state demands it. Yep, Chakram Dancer. Move here, he Tide Turner swaps. This is a 1. This goes to 5 after he discards a unit. Draw. Okay, his hand's really good right now. He's got a lot of draws off of Way. So it's a little doomed. I need to do something risky to flip the game. And I don't here, which is why the game is lost. What I should have done after Conquer. So I Conquer here, look at the top 2 cards on my deck. It's fine. I don't have anything that draws, so it doesn't really matter. What I should have done was Bellows, like kills Fizz, marks us with 1, push both, and then land or toss Chakram Dancer on the field. I could consider double bellows, but I think I should have done something risky. Specifically in this position, I probably did not understand how poor the position was for me. So I decided against going for a risky play. Okay, so I'm pushing this to kill the fizz. Why? What is my hand? Okay, so I'm just like, let's trim the fat, kill the fizz. Because at this point, if I push and drop the Chakram Dancer, it's not good for me. Maybe I thought of this play. I can't remember if I thought about this play after I had sacrificed the Forecaster or not. But I think what I just did lost the game at that point. Reinforcing here I don't think does enough. Yeah, we went to 5, he holds to 5. He can get over this without much issue. This game might already be over. I do have Chakram Dancer on defense. So he's going to come in as an 11. +6. Oh no, did he discard? No, he used Ride the Wind. He not. Wait, did he do Away Trigger? Did he draw for it? Ride the Wind. Declared the battlefield, which he's required to do. Move. Draw. Okay, he needs to discard. Discard side turner goes to 6. Chakram Dancer comes down 8. 14. 14 to 11. Okay, so I was debating between the Chakram Dancer here aggressively, which I think would have been better in this, the way that the position was. I think it was better to use Chakram Dancer aggressively, but this is probably what I calculated through instead. And I probably in this moment, Frosty me was like, hey, this is probably a higher EV play because it represents more. But right now he flashes, pulls back, discards. This is another +6 that he has. So he goes to 6. All my units are dead. I have nothing in hand. I think this is over. Yeah, that's a huge blowout. Double develop if he has... If he shows... Oh yeah, I'm probably saying, do you have Ride the Wind or Flash? Yep, cool. Last game, we're on Arena's Greatest against Diana. We've not seen a single Falling Star the entire match. That's that's very bad in this matchup. That one Chakram Dancer misplay might have gone differently. But this is really good for me, as long as I don't miss a 2-drop. He's going to play Diana first. I would love to see Plundering Poro, Rocket Barrage, Falling Star. So we'd love to see the Forecaster. We can't drop him. I don't think we can keep... We might... do we keep? So we never keep Watcher in hand. It's too heavy. We have 3 of them. So we'll see them later. That's fine. Especially since we have 3 Forecasters and one of them's in my hand. What's the second card? Bellows? Oh. Oh. Do I really keep Bellows over Sprite Fountain? Sprite Fountain early is not particularly good. We don't want to spend the power, especially since I don't have the Plundering Poro. I think if this is Plundering Poro, I keep this Sprite Fountain. Oh gosh, that's a pretty bad hand. We have a turn 1 play. That's highly relevant for this board state, or for these battlefields rather. Play the Forecaster, look at the top card of the deck. And then we'll plan to push it to Ravenloom Conservatory. He's going to develop Diana. I'll have a Watchful Sentry in base when he's pushing, or he has to develop Way and Pass. If I draw stoop, I could double stoop. And I actually don't hate that. Wait, okay. Gust. Gust makes sense. I have the opportunity to redeploy and then... Oh, what? I'm going to walk this back, surely. Yeah. Forecaster, Hopeful Forecaster, Watchful Sentry. I'm thinking about if I can get rid of the Diana, if that's legal. I was probably going to stupefy Double Bellows to get rid of Diana. But I think it's probably better to just develop 2 units and pass. I'm still looking for the Falling Stars. Yep, double develop pass. We're going to look for a double conquer on the next turn, I guess. Conquering to 3 is kind of mid. But my opponent here, if I think it would be wise to develop way and pass, depending on what's in his hand. I can't see it. Is that Tide Turner? Okay. Tap Diana. Get another card draw. He's considering tossing it back. Okay, doesn't like it. And it's Hui. So you see me writing down Hui because I know it's going to be in his hand. Known information. Very relevant. Ride the Wind pullback. Okay. Scores to 3. Gets a second Diana trigger pulled back. So he has to have a unit in hand to develop. I don't love this play. But he I think I see Hard Bargain, Tide Turner. He doesn't develop. I'm probably excited to see this. Conquer this here, conquer this here. Or backwards. This go here, this go here. This go here, you can never take me off of this battlefield. Double Veil Stupefy. So he made a mistake by picking up this card. He thought that it was gonna die, so he picked it up and telegraphed that he had nothing to respond to the Stupefy. Yeah, I have 2 Bellows in my hand, so I have to use it to get rid of this. Prevent his card draw, tax his hand significantly. This is essentially trading 1 for 2, always. Stupefy cantrips, Bellows is gone, and then his Diana plus the potential Diana trigger is gone. He has no units in base, and no realistic ability to get to a battlefield. So I push both. If he gusts one, I just redeploy it. That's not really that big of a deal. But he's not going to get to these battlefields. So I'm scoring to 3. Almost guaranteed to hold to 5. So if I have a 2-drop in my hand, I put it on the field. Or put it on the in base. I don't need to hold up 3 runes. So what do we have? Bellows. Show me my hand, me. I know that... Okay. Probably should have developed that last... Whoa! That's a turn. That's game. I think he just loses the game on the spot. That's how bad his hand... He doesn't develop the Hui specifically because he's afraid of Falling Star. Which is respectable, but I don't, like... Are you allowed to do this? Granted, if you develop Hui, Falling Star, you also lose on the spot. If you have another Falling Star or a Fizz, you might be able to make this sequence. I think that this was the new card I just drew. This looks like Warp. Void Seeker, maybe? I might consider leaving this here in case he walks in and then gives me the Raven Moon Conservatory trigger. Looks like Time Warp, Hextech Ray. Oh, having Hextech Ray especially makes me totally fine to keep this here. Get the Raven Moon Conservatory trigger and then also get to Hextech Ray to prevent anything from happening. I feel like I'm happy. Yep, develop. Make base big. Inconveniently at 5, but we can just conquer here, draw, prep for lethal the following turn. I wish I was at 6, but what can you do? I suppose everybody would. Yeah, not gonna lie. I think I'm supposed to leave that there. I don't need this forecaster. And the extra draw from the Ravenbloom Conservatory, especially when I have Hextech Ray. Like, this game position is pretty doomed for Diana regardless. Right. Yeah, there's not much you can say here. It's just painful for him. And he doesn't have... He's not on the battlefield. So ideally, you push here, conquer, set the Hui here, and then you can flash to get out of the Falling Star range, but... I have Time Warp, but I'm not allowed to use it. Even if I had 10 runes, I can't use it because he has 3 runes open for Hard Bargain. Conquer, go to 6. So we're at 6. We probably have a Time Warp that I can't play. We have a bunch of cards I don't know. But regardless of what's in my hand, I'm thinking about the way that I get to 7. And right now, with what's on the board, I can most definitely push one of these 2-drops here and then force him to get me off of both battlefields. And then I have an extra draw here, extra gold here. There's like not much downside to me hanging one of these over here. Granted, moving, conquering, Fizz, Ride the Wind is totally like a way to get over this. But I want to tax him as much as I can on his turn. You have another Hextech Ray. It's so hard to see what's in my hand right now. Yeah, casters keep talking about Time Warp, but there's almost no reality you can play it in this matchup. You have to respect the Hard Bargain. If you cast Time Warp and they Hard Bargain, you often lose the game on the spot. You only do it if it's literally your only option. Or you manage to tax them below 2. Oh, we can see it panned a little bit here. Hold on. Is that a chakram? Is this Ray, Chakram Dancer, Smoke, Warp, Bellows? Something like that? I have tons of interaction. Put all those here, stack. I only do this if I have Chakram Dancer. And then I leave this in the back specifically for the Warp play. If he goes here, I draw more card, and then he buffs to 8, buffs to 11. Chakram Dancer 4, 5, 8, 11, so that ties here. And then I push and Warp. Oh no, you can't go here first. You need more might. I can recycle 1 and still Warp on the next turn. So I'm going to Hextech Ray. This card's Mundo. That feels bad. If he had that later in the game, in the right position, it's kind of backbreaking. I don't think that Mundo could be played in Diana, but against KaiSa, it's actually a super strong card. I don't think it belongs in this deck list though. Hextech Ray. I just need this to trade and I win the game. So it doesn't really matter which order I do things. Ah, okay. So this is really good. He's targeting Watchful Sentry to pull him over here. I have a Chakram Dancer in hand, so I'm gonna put it here, I bet. I have to play it before it moves though. Yeah, so I'm explaining that he gets shield here and then comes over. And then it's 8. And this is an 8 with 3 damage. He's just verifying. He's like, yeah, that makes sense. No, it's 8 to 8. Oh, hold on. It is 8 to Moonfall, so 2, 0, 0. Well, that actually doesn't matter. This is a 2. Yeah, KaiSa's the only 2. This is a 8 with 3 damage. So I am pressured to play something. It is his focus after Shock Condenser resolves. Smoke. Double bellows 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I don't want to use any more if I don't have to. Hard bargain is repeated. But how does he get over here? If he uses Fizz to get over here, if he uses Ride the Wind to go over here, he taps blow 2 and loses. So I'm like, this is totally fine. Draw for the Death Needle. The casters are kind of excited that he's in a losing position. He so this is losing. He's looking for Ride the Wind. He has to use it to get over here. I already know that I win the game right now. I'm at 7. He has to come over here. If he doesn't, he loses the game. Gust loses because push warp. I was very intentional not to tap below 8 runes here, or not to recycle below 8. And we're just walking back certain game states. Yeah, I was just explaining that there's no if he found anything, he loses. Like after he got to 3 runes and still had me over here, the game was already over. He had to have exactly 4 and a Ride the Wind in hand for this not to work. All right. So I hope that was helpful to some degree for each of you out there who have been playing the KaiSa deck for a little bit of time. I'm going to experiment with the deck over the course of the next week and a half. I have 9 days before I head over to Atlanta for CCS 25K. And we'll see what we bring there. We'll vlog the experience and get that uploaded for y'all. I'm going to upload the vlog from this past weekend at Decklists over the course of probably later this week. I hope you have the opportunity to enjoy that. I hope this was helpful in some degree and you enjoyed it. Have a good one, guys.